Good morning, good Christmas morning. How are you waking up? I woke up at 5 o'clock and today I want to give homage to Mother Mary. Mother Mary, because she's the mother of Jesus. And calling on Mary power. And this is one of my favorite mugs, even though it's broken. But even though it's broken, I can still drink out of it. And I can't find another one. And I found this at the Lady Caprini Chapel in Colorado. And on the back of it, I just love it. So I'm just sending this prayer out to you, especially if you are in a healing mode. So let not your heart be disturbed. Do not fear sickness, nor any other anguish. Am I not here who am your mother? Are you not under my protection? Am I not your health? Are you not happily within my folds? What else do you wish? Do you grieve nor do not grieve nor be disturbed by anything? So, do not grieve or be disturbed by anything. And let's just take a moment now to be mindful and to connect by taking just a deep breath in, exhaling slower, and allowing for that stillness to be within you. Breathe in possibilities. Breathe out limitations. Breathe in love. Breathe out fear. Breathe in faith. Breathe out doubt. Breathe in trust. Breathe out anxiety. Breathe in hope. Breathe out disappointment. And a juicy breath of joy. Letting go of the anger. Remember your magic. Remember you are magic. So, I'd like to open up this space of healing. Whenever you catch this is when you are supposed to, and the message is for you. And you know I believe in magic. So right now I'm just going to release our limitations. So, I ask that this connection right now be for the highest good, for our messages that we are seeking. And I ask that we let go of yesterday so that we can be fully present for today. So today is Christmas, and one of the things I like to do the leading up to Christmas, sometimes Christmas Day, is the Dickens Process. The Dickens Process. Tony Robbins leads this, and it is the story of Scrooge and where he gets visited by the three spirits, okay? And then he is transformed on Christmas Day. At the end of it, he is taken to like his death, you know, and there's a great like timeline to this. And so I encourage you right now to just, if you're watching this later, pause it and then go get a journal and we'll do it together. I love taking the steps together. And I've done this many times. Now I know that the reason I do this, though, is also because it takes me to my death point and how I want to live. And every single time it brings me to tears. Sometimes it's the same result and sometimes it's different. So I encourage you right now to pause and let's do this together. It will take you to your point, though, of death so that you can come back and then really know what's important so that you can be relived again. And so on this Christmas year, a universal 8-year. Let's do it together. I've done several death processes, and every single one of them is different, and every single one of them gets me to a deeper level. And so you can just YouTube this. I'm actually sitting right where like my corner nook is in my TV, and I just YouTube it, and it is Tony Robbins Explains the Dickens Process. Okay, so we're gonna just take a moment right now.
It's a story I know you know. It's called A Christmas Carol by Charles Dickens. Sure enough, here is a perfect example of how to change somebody who didn't want to be changed. See, it's easy to change people who want to change. By watching this film, I developed a technique I now call the Dickens pattern.
We're going to do the Dickens process right now, Jenny. So grab a notebook.
What basically it does is, do you remember the story? Here was a guy who had no desire to change, right? In fact, in his mind, he was successful by being the way he was. He had linked up in his head that the reason he made money is because he was such a horrible person. The reality is, that was like saying, do you remember the story we talked about earlier about the night? Where people linked up my microphone being the night? It wasn't the night. But people sometimes in their lives link up things and go, I'm successful because of this. He wasn't successful because he was mean. He was successful for other reasons. But beyond all that, he didn't want to change, and he could prove to you he didn't need to. Okay? But in one night, even though he didn't want to change, his whole world changed, didn't it? All his core beliefs and his behaviors. How? Well, 3 neuroassociative conditioning specialists showed up in the middle of the night. 3 knackers. 3 ghosts, if you will. And what did these 3 ghosts do? Well, they came in and used some neuroassociative conditioning, some NAC on this man. How did they do it? Number 1, they didn't tell him. They got him to feel and experience massive pain and relate that to his present beliefs and behaviors. Isn't that what they did? And they did it in 3 ways. They had him go to his past and experience all the pain that he had in his past because of those behaviors. They then brought him to the present and got him to link all this present pain he was getting because of this pain that he wasn't focusing on, pain he'd been trying to delete in his life and not notice so he could stay the way he was. And then they took him to the future where it really got compelling. And there they got him to feel ultimate pain his life would have because he lived this way. Well, between those 3 people in one night, they linked so much pain. He would do anything to change. They not only got leverage, but if you link, again, enough pain to something, that interrupts somebody's pattern instantly. You don't have to work on any other pattern interrupts. Do you know what I'm saying? In other words, he used to link in his mind, being mean means being rich. Well, when he had that much pain, not only did they get leverage where he felt like he must change, but it interrupted his pattern. His brain said, hey, being mean means pain. So then all they had to do was give him a new association. And remember, if you interrupt somebody's pattern, they're going to look for a new pattern. In other words, once you break that pattern, there's a vacuum. And that vacuum for him was, oh my gosh, they said, boy, you better treat people well. And he went out and started treating people well, and he got all the joy, didn't he? He woke up the next morning so lucky to be alive. He started giving. People started loving him, and he started linking up, boy, giving means pleasure. Not giving means pain. His life changed. It's called the Dickens pattern, and we're going to do it. Here are the key elements. 1, you got to be willing to experience some pain. I know that doesn't sound too terribly exciting, and we have a very short period of time to do this on this tape because they've already been going for some time, but I'm going to give you a mini version of what I do with people in seminars. And what we're going to do, though, is you've got to be willing to really associate and feel the amount of pain that you have right now and or will have because of these limiting beliefs. Does that make sense? So I can't do it for you, not here anyway, not over this tape, but you've got to do it to yourself. I'll guide you through asking you some effective questions. Then, once we've gotten you to experience pain, primarily we're going to focus on the future because we don't have a lot of time to do what I call a full Dickens. We're just going to use the future, okay? Once we've done that, your brain will be motivated to make a change. That's where we're going to create a new belief, and we're just going to have you see what the positive consequences are and use those by conditioning. So let's begin Dickens. Here's what I want you to do. Take a nice deep breath in, exhale slowly, and I will tell you that if you're doing this in your car, this is not the ideal place to do it. If you're going to do this in your car, I would do it now, and you might want to do this again at home later on. It can be done in the car. Just make sure that you're paying attention to your driving as well, because this may internalize some feelings for you. So again, ideal place would be to stop, pull over, and take 8 minutes to do this with me. or wait till you get home and do this, but make sure you follow through. Don't learn all this stuff and then not apply it. Make sure you follow through and use it right now, or you commit to a time today where you're going to do this Dickens pattern. All right, let's begin. Take a nice deep breath in again. Exhale slowly. Close your eyes. And here's what I'm going to ask you to do. I want you to think about these two limiting beliefs that you have in your life. These two beliefs that have really held you back in various areas. And what I want you to do is I want you to imagine how much they weigh on your life and feel that weight on your body. And as you do, I want you to think about what are the consequences. By having these beliefs, what does it cost you? What does it cost you in the past, and what is it costing you now in your life to have these beliefs? In other words, what are you losing because of these beliefs? What are you missing out on? And be honest with yourself and just don't go, well, I'm missing out on some great relationships. Stop and think about specific relationships that maybe you've never looked at it before, but it's costing you a level of love or rapport or connection. And feel how that feels to feel that loss. Again, I'm counting on you to create the real pain in your body, otherwise we're wasting our time. Really be willing to feel it. Use a lot of pain in the present to have a lot of pleasure in the future. That's what we're asking you to do. Now, what is it costing you financially? Do these beliefs limit some of the choices you make that affect your finances? Do these beliefs affect your willingness to take some risks, to invest, to go for it? How do these beliefs cost you in your own self-esteem? Having these beliefs, what does it do to your self-confidence? Does it create doubt or strength to have these beliefs? How do you feel about yourself when you live by these beliefs? Do you feel powerful or weaker? How do these beliefs affect your energy level? They create energy or take energy away? What do you think of when you think of yourself living by these beliefs? What do you say to yourself when you look in the mirror and realize that you've allowed these beliefs to control you? Say it to yourself. See it. How does your face look when you think about living with these beliefs and the weight of them pulling you down? Feel how it feels. What kind of role model are you for your children if you have children? What kind of role model are you for anybody? How does it affect you spiritually, your relationship with your Creator? Think of what all the costs are for you physically, financially, emotionally, socially, spiritually. All the areas of your life. Now do this. Take the weight of all of these limitations, all the things you're missing out on, and I want you to pull yourself into the future. And as you go into the future, I want you to step 5 years in the future and make sure you drag with you all of the limiting feelings and experiences and limitations that these beliefs will create for another 5 years, stacking one on top of another, like a giant snowball getting bigger and bigger and bigger, pushing you further down. And I want you to step into the future 5 years from now, and with you, bring all the things you've missed out on, all the pain, all the frustration, all the anger that these beliefs have generated through time, all the things you've given up on. Bring all of that with you. Drag it with you now 5 years in the future. I want you to actually feel yourself going 5 years in the future now. And as you arrive 5 years in the future, I want you to look in the mirror. Now, if you don't think you're good at visualizing, feel as if you're looking in the mirror. Talk to yourself about these things. And as you come to the mirror, take a look at your face. And how do you look 5 years from now, having lived with all these limiting beliefs and not changed? Not changed at all. What's the price you've paid? Do you look younger or older? More alive or less alive? More energized or less energized? Think about it. Feel it. Actually be there. What's been the price in your self-esteem? How do you feel about yourself, having lived for 5 years with these limiting beliefs and not changing them? What's been the cost to you? That's right. What do you like physically? Did it cause you to gain weight because you didn't like the way you felt, so you tried to distract yourself through food or smoke or drink? What's happened to your physical energy and flexibility? What has it done to you in business or in your career? Have you really gone as high as you could have, or what have you missed out on in your career because you had some of these limiting beliefs? What does it cost you? What's been the price of these beliefs? Again, feel it. Don't just think it. Feel what it would feel like if you're there right now and you paid that price for 5 long years. 5 years of those limitations, 5 years of giving up your power. What's been the price in relationships? Are there any relationships that you're no longer in because of this? What does it cost you in your emotional connection with the people you care about? What's it cost you financially for 5 years? What are the things you didn't do that you should have, and you didn't because of your fears about these beliefs? What's been the cost in your whole life? What do you say to yourself as you see yourself 5 years from now in the future with these limiting beliefs controlling your life? Feel it. Now step in the future 10 years from now. Drag 10 years of disappointment with you. 10 years of one failure building on another. 10 years of all the limitations of these beliefs, all the things you've missed out coming with you. 10 years in the future, and now look in the mirror and notice how you feel. You feel older or younger, more alive or less alive? Does your body feel heavier or lighter? Do you feel stronger or weaker? What do you say to yourself as you look at yourself after living this way for a decade, 10 years? What did you give up? What did you give up emotionally? How much frustration have you experienced for 10 years because of these beliefs? How many things were you afraid of? How many things did you not do? How many things did you give up on? How much pain have you experienced because of these lousy little beliefs? What's been the cost for you in your relationships now? Have you even given up on having that level of passion you know you deserved back then? Who's in your life? How do your friends think of you? How do you think of yourself? What's happened to you spiritually? What's happened to you physically? What's happened to you financially and emotionally? What's been the price of these beliefs? Feel it. Feel the pain and make it real for yourself. Step 20 years into the future now and drag 2 decades, 20 years of pain with you all the way, and feel all the things you've missed out on for 20 years culminating on your back. Feel it. Feel all the things you gave up on, all the things you missed out on, all the pain you've experienced because of these limiting beliefs. Look in the mirror and notice what your face looks like, what your body looks like. Are you healthy or not? Are you fatter? Do you feel lighter or heavier? Stronger or weaker? More alive or less alive? More excited or totally depressed and disappointed? Where are you? What's happened to you? What price did you pay for these lousy beliefs? What did it cost you in your relationships? What did it cost you in your career, in your business? What didn't you do because of these beliefs? What didn't you try? What didn't you go for? What does it cost you physically, emotionally, spiritually, financially? What does it cost your family life? What do you say to yourself after 20 years of living this way with these limiting beliefs? Was it worth it? Feel the pain and make it real. See all the prices you've paid, all the things you've given up, all the things you've missed out on your life. How do you feel about your life if you live this way for 20 years? And decide if you're willing to live this way. Are you willing to have this be your destiny? If this is painful enough that you are absolutely committed to never living this way again, your brain will change your beliefs. If not, you better keep working on this till it's really painful. Do whatever it takes. Ask yourself questions. Feel the pain. If you're committed to never having this happen in your life, know that this is only the shadow of the future, as they said, and that this can be changed by you changing your beliefs. Come backwards in time, back to today, and realize that none of this has happened yet, fortunately. Come all the way back to today and realize none of this has happened yet. It doesn't have to happen if you make some changes. And as you do, you may notice that if you did this and you really were feeling the feelings, you may have been bent over as you got older and as you felt more of the weight of those problems. And as you come back today, you may find yourself sitting or standing more upright, breathing more fully, feeling more alive. And you might want to shake your body out and interrupt that pattern, get out of that state completely. Change your physiology, change your state by moving your body around, bounce up and down, move around, breathe. And get completely out of that state.
Hi,
My name is Prune Harris from Imaginal Health, and in this video, it's going to be 5 to 10 minutes.
Sorry, I'm on my YouTube and it's live. So that was the part 1. Okay, so if you just want to sit there and kind of just breathe it in and getting out of the state, I'm going to go to part 2. Since we're doing this, let's just take it to the edge and finish it, right? We're starting this morning together. We're already here. And, you know, this is live. So here we go. Let's see. I'm still like in the zone of the void, waking up. It was really nice sleeping last night. Yeah, it's been a lot of disruption of sleep. And if you've been feeling it too, it's all there cosmically. It's because the solar flares and all the energies are just shifting. So some people sleep really well, some don't. It just depends on where you are in the process. Let's see, watch later. It's on my playlist here. Okay, so now we're going to be at part 2.
Breathing more fully. Feeling more alive. And you might want to shake your body.
Okay. Here we go.
And realize that none of this has happened yet, fortunately. Come all the way back to today. And realize none of this has happened yet. It doesn't have to happen if you make some changes. And as you do, you may notice that if you did this and you really were feeling the feelings, you may have been bent over as you got older and as you felt more of the weight of those problems. And as you come back today, you may find yourself sitting or standing more upright, breathing more fully, feeling more alive. And you might want to shake your body out and interrupt that pattern, get out of that state completely. Change your physiology, change your state by moving your body around, bounce up and down, move around, breathe. And get completely out of that state. Now, your brain should be at this point very motivated to change these beliefs. It should have associated enough pain. So what do we need to do? Real simple. We need to get ourselves in a great state and decide what are 2 beliefs that we really want that would empower us. So right now, change your body radically, and I want you to stand, breathe, start to move the way you would if you felt totally energized, totally excited, totally passionate. I mean, move your body. You go, this is weird, Tony. Doesn't matter. Go for it anyway. Move your body. Breathe. Gesture. Express yourself the way you would. Start talking out loud more rapidly, more quickly, so you can put yourself in a place where you feel excited. Because right now, I want you to put yourself in a state like this gentleman Scrooge was in when he realized it was still Christmas morning and he had a chance to change it all. That level of excitement and energy, create it in your body right now, whatever it takes. And as you create it, start thinking of what is the opposite of your old beliefs. If you were going to change these 2 beliefs and install 2 new beliefs that were going to empower you, what would those 2 new beliefs be? If you're going to make them in one sentence, like mine was, if you recall, hey, I'm too young, I went to youth is power. I don't have the degree, I went, thank God. I got a PhD in results. I haven't been conditioned on what to believe or not to believe. I can make my own choices. Make it a sentence. I got a PhD in results. I don't have any money. I have as much money as I'm committed to making. I have as much money as I need as long as I get committed. I have as much money as I need by developing a strategy. Whatever belief it is, make it a phrase. Whatever it is, make it something that empowers you. And in this state right now, I want you to write down 2 sentences, 2 new beliefs to replace the old ones. What would they be? Write them down right now. Quickly. Sit down and right now come up with 2 different sentences. What would you replace the old beliefs with? 2 powerful sentences that when you say them, you think, if I had that belief, it would really empower my life. What would be the antithesis of your old belief? Go for it. Write it down quickly, quickly. If you need time, stop the tape right now and just take a moment and write down these 2 new empowering beliefs. Go for it. Welcome back. You should now have 2 empowering beliefs that are stated in sentences that are very clear and hopefully stated in the positive. In other words, if you had an old belief that said, well, I'm ugly, and you've changed a new one to, I'm not that attractive, that's not a strong enough new belief. Make it stated in the positive, okay? Now, all we've got to do now to install it is get us to associate in our own minds pleasure to having it and then condition that till it stays. We've identified what the new belief is. How do we do it? Same way we pulled out the old one. We're going to go back to Dickens. We're going to start to get the result we want. Take a nice deep breath in. Exhale slowly. close your eyes quickly, and let's just have some fun. It'll be easy to install because there's a vacuum. There's a hole where your old belief used to be, and now you can fill it with this new empowering belief. So what I want you to do, real simple, is this. I want you to imagine right now that you have lived with these new beliefs for 5 years. In other words, we're going to step 5 years into the future, but this time, as you go to the future, it's a new destiny. I want you to notice the positive, powerful impact that these new beliefs have had on your life. In other words, where are you now in your life after 5 years of living with these beliefs? What have you gained? How is your life greater? How is your life enhanced? Go ahead, step into the future, and with you, take all the successes that you built day after day after day because of these new beliefs for 5 whole years. How has it enhanced your personality? How has it strengthened your confidence? What has it caused you to really go for? Take a look in the mirror 5 years from now as you arrive there, living with all these great beliefs for 5 years, and take a look in the mirror. Are you smiling or frowning? Do you have lots of energy or a little bit of energy? Do you feel younger or older? Do you feel more excited about life or less? Take a look at your level of confidence and your ability and your emotions. Do you feel more joy and pleasure and passion or less? How about your relationships? Is there more drive and excitement and love there or less? What's happened to your ability to really impact the people around you in a positive way because of these empowering beliefs? Hey, what's happened to you financially? Because of these beliefs, did you try some things you wouldn't have tried before? Did you hear some things you wouldn't have heard before? Did you learn some things you wouldn't have learned before? Did you invest in some things you wouldn't have invested in before? What's happened there as well after 5 years of living with empowering beliefs? In addition, what's happened to you physically? Do you feel more healthy, more alive? Do you have more energy? What do you like in your physical weight? Have you learned to change your state without having to just use drugs or alcohol or food or something else? Take a good look. What do you like spiritually or in your relationship with your Creator? What kind of role model are you for your kids or for your friends? What do you say to yourself after living this way for 5 years? Notice how it feels. Feel it right now. Now, step 10 years in the future, and I want you to feel what it feels like to live with these beliefs for a decade. A decade of living the way you absolutely know would create success. A decade of living by these empowering beliefs. A decade of having your personality influenced and impacted by them. And as you arrive 10 years in the future, again, look at your face. Are you more alive or less alive? Do you have more energy or less? Do you look younger or older? Do you stand differently than you did even 10 years ago? How do you feel about yourself having lived this way for a decade? What do you say to yourself? What's your level of confidence, passion, aliveness, playfulness? That's it. What's happened in your relationships? Have they enhanced and gotten even better and stronger? Or are they weakened? What's happened in your relationships with your children if you have them? What kind of role model are you? What do you like personally, emotionally, physically, financially, spiritually, intellectually, and socially? How is your life greater? How is your life enhanced for 10 full years? And now here's the kicker. Go to year 20. Step in the future, 20 years in the future, where you've lived this way for 2 decades, where this is really who you are. There's no question anymore. And feel how good it feels. Feel the power and the maturity and the distinctions and the success and the happiness and the joy and the pleasure and the security and the adventure. Feel it all inside of you right now. Look in the mirror and notice what your life is like. What do you say to yourself having lived this way for 20 years? Look at all your relationships, your business, your career. And again, notice and feel how good it feels to have lived this way for 20 years. And decide, for a moment, I want you to look at both destinies. The one you were heading on and the one you're on now. Decide, side by side, which one are you committed to living? I know it's a tough choice, but give it a shot. I think it'll be pretty clear. Once you decide, come back to today being excited, knowing that this destiny that you're now on track for hasn't happened yet, which means you get to look forward to it every single day, just by having these new beliefs. Come all the way back to today and feel the excitement you can have about your future, the excitement you can have about your present. And when you finish this tape, write down your success journal, write down a paragraph or 2 or 3 as to how each one of these beliefs, how specifically will this belief, new one you've installed, enhance the quality of your life now. That's your only assignment for today. And when you come back tomorrow, we're going to work on creating a compelling future, understanding the power of why. Till then, again, Live with passion.
All right. Yeah, so this is the third time that I've done the Dickens Process. The last time I did do a video on it, it was because I was in a colitis flare, and my fear was of death and like other people having to take care of me, and that I messed up, that I'm weak. And the image that came to me back then was me in bed, frail, and Isabella, my daughter, is like now in her 20s, and she has to give up her life because she had to take care of me. And it still brings tears to me when I see this image. And then transforming it, it was a different scene. It was me on the beach because I love the beach. And she runs home from college, and she grabs my hand, and we're walking, and I have my new partner with me, and we're just on the beach with feet in the sand, and I can hear and see things like that have to do with the beach and the sound of the birds and such. And she's so excited because she's just graduated college, and then she's off to, I don't know, some new adventure. So, this is actually an unfolding process, and each time you do it, you're at a different place. Today, and I've been working with Tracy Stanley in her book, The Luminous Self, and my new I am statement is, I am luminous grace, and that really came through for me. And my saying is, I am luminous grace, and it's my new belief, and that all my decisions are alignment for me. All my decisions are in alignment for me. So the pain point that I had this time around was that the belief that I'm not smart, and that I am stupid and I mess things up. I'm not smart, and I'm slow, because I'm actually, now I know, I'm neurodivergent, and so I just learn differently. But when I was little, I did a lot of comparisons, and being Asian too, all my friends were so freaking smart and they were so fast, but I wasn't. I was slow. And my mom said that too, but there's a dialect in Asian culture that's very like matter of fact. It's like the imperfect and perfect tense, and it took it so personally, where I'm not smart and I'm slow. And so because of that, I overcompensated trying to be fast at things, and flying by the seat of my pants, taking action quickly, and then kind of just proving myself so that I wouldn't seem stupid. Yeah, and so this belief has also caused me to have a lot of anxiety and perfectionism, and also taking action and then like trying to control things, especially with my health, with my colitis, and taking action right away. And I would do it all at one time, and cause my body to be in a state of stress and not heal. And so the pain point for me going to that is that once again, frail and weak, and diminished, wrinkly, and not being able to do things. Yeah. And so now that I give myself more grace, especially working with Tracy Stanley and this due process and her luminous self practices, I know that all the actions are in alignment for me. And when I'm in this way, when I give myself grace and I slow down, actually being slow instead of being fast, I love the saying, slow is smooth and smooth is fast. Slow is smooth and smooth is fast. And so then I flow, things are at ease, I'm in awe, things just come to me, and I'm in total awareness, and I utilize whatever shows up in using my intuition, and I'm free flowing, and it's allowing and people to help, because I'm all about people and support systems and communities and not having to do it alone. The other way, I was so alone. So, yeah, it feels really good. And I hope that whatever you're experiencing it right now, that you give yourself grace. And it's an awakening. and just to savor every moment, all the experiences that you have, and living this day as if it was your last. And if it's not, fall to your knees and say thank you. That's a scroll from Og Mandino in his book, The Greatest Salesman in the World. There's 10 scrolls in it, and that's one of my favorite. Today, I will live this day as if it was my last. Today, I will live this day as if it was my last. And so, may you be free, may you find peace, and may you have grace and courage. Thanks for joining me this morning. And happy everything. Happy everything, whatever you're celebrating. And choose to celebrate life. You chose to live this life. You chose to be here in the now. And everything is in the now and in the present. That's why it's called the present, right? And so this Christmas, that's your presence. And that you are the gift. Just know that you are the gift. Toodles. Did I just say that? Toodles?